Today we're talking about the game.
How do you want to open that, Russ?
The video game Hawaii. That's the name of the new video game.
You mean GTA Hawaii?
GTA these nuts.
All right.
If by
Can you
GTA
go back
you
to
mean-
the other screen real quick, OBS, and then we should be good.
Yeah.
If by GTA you mean great treats always.
Or split it. Okay. I'm just paranoid now after watching that last week. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Good. Yes. Yes.
I'm sharing.
Sharing is caring.
It can be fun.
Shit, we're gonna start at 8 o'clock. Fuck.
We are.
That's what I always try to shoot for.
Like Kobe.
All day, every day.
Kobe. Kobe.
That's basketball.
Dun, dun.
Hmm.
And that's the way the news goes.
I saw some really fucked up memes with Kobe
Yeah.
about his death.
Those
Like,
people need to die in hell.
I mean, they were
Stop
fucking
it.
hilarious.
they were pretty
Man,
fucking
they're-
funny. They were
they're
awful,
cheap.
like
Stop it.
in really bad taste, but they were funny.
They were definitely cheap wins.
I can't look.
I mean, we ain't showing you.
Eventually. Because, it took time, but we all looked at 9/11 memes and stuff, so
Are you comparing Kobe's death to 9/11?
yes.
Okay. You can die on that hill.
At least personally, as far as like the feels, I'm not saying it's anywhere close, but like
You just said it.
you didn't let me finish. Let me finish. I'm just saying, as far as like waking up to some bullshit, like the last thing I want to hear when like the last thing I want to see, period, and then to wake up to that, I woke up to that shit.
LOL Games, what's her name?
Angelina.
LOL Games.
ELO.
Oh,
What up?
I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I'm just tagging her right now.
I'm saying
Indeed.
what
Oh,
up.
we have
in
hella
your face.
people watching already.
Yeah.
Hi.
Sorry, I know. We'll get started.
We're-
I'm sharing.
This is the pre-show warm-up.
This is the BTS.
Pre-show
Stop
warm-up.
fucking with that mic.
I can't because it's in my way. Okay, there. I'm looking at myself on the picture, and I'm just microphone. I'm more microphone than man.
Okay, I'm all good.
Someone's an
We're all
egocentric.
Egotistical.
Oh, now I'm bumping it.
All right, ready?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun for 5 minutes. I'm ready
All right.
when you are.
Put 24 seconds on the clock there.
Hey, how many fofofos?
24 shot clock.
You want how many fofofos?
Yeah.
Kobe.
5, 4, 3.
Kobe.
How you supposed to
All
do
right,
that?
Lakers fans, welcome to Salt Tier Podcast,
Wow.
episode 57.
Kobe.
We'll get to it.
Too
We'll
soon,
get
man.
to it. Jiminy Christmas.
Jesus Christ is what he meant.
We are coming to you from Studio 212 here in South Lake Union, Seattle, Washington.
Yes, that was a burp.
It might have been. And part of the Soundcasting Network by our lovely and beautiful fearless leader. Some say he's done the Nuremberg in 5 minutes on a Razor scooter. But we know him as Keith the Boogie.
Hey.
Hello.
Vanquisher of farts.
We are brought to you by the lovely and beautiful and ever so gracious Voodoo Ranger, a line of new Belgian beers.
Who's that again, Loud and Brown?
Voodoo Ranger, thank you. They are B Corp
Wow.
certified, independent company, employee owned, and just beautiful, beautiful beers and very supportive of gaming culture. We really got to brass tacks with Lauren when I bumped into them at PAX and they had their own beer garden. Fantastic, give it a break. Specifically with New Belgium, although they have the Mural and the Passion Fruit, we are toting the Voodoo Ranger line. We got the IPA, the Jucifer IPA, and except for this one,
This
Mural.
is not Voodoo Ranger.
Mural,
This is,
all the way.
Mural.
It's okay, Lauren. It still counts. You're right there on the back wall. Do you like our swag here? No, look at this. Thank you, Keith.
We look official.
We look official as hell. You should keep this up during the other podcasts too. It's like, no, that stays there.
Yeah.
And goodness gracious, aside from that, I guess that's it. That's the little short intro.
I don't know why you looked at me like that.
Because you're the man with all the answers.
No, I don't.
All the answers.
We're
You
saying
I'm AI.
You have all of the Destiny answers.
You damn right.
you do.
I am Destiny.
Headshots
Okay.
only.
So I'm going to start with me. This is Loud and Brown at Loud and Brown. That's Instagram and Twitter. I am GrossDef on PS4 and never on Steam.
Yeah, I saw you on my friends list. It said over 1 year ago.
Oh man,
Oh,
it's been way too
wow.
long. Well, anyway, if you want to see me talk about games, you just gotta follow salttier. That's at Instagram at @salt_tierpod on Instagram and Twitter. On Facebook, we are just Salttier Podcast. You can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, MySpace, Napster, ICQ, Christian Mingle. And I'm gonna move on to my left.
Oh, it's your boy Dathan McCaitlin, baby. AKA Von Shady, AKA the soft prince of former Delridge. Or no, former soft prince of Delridge, anyway.
No, you can take the man out of Delridge, but you can never take the Delridge out of the man.
Damn right, born and raised, baby. Nothing really much going on. I just kind of did not play video games. I was in Hawaii just drinking nonstop and slept for maybe about 8 hours within the 48 hours I was there.
Oh, did you get laid?
No.
No.
I ate a bunch of Japanese food and Filipino food, and then woke up to some tragedies, but it's okay. I think I smoked like 2 packs of cigarettes. That's probably the most I've ever smoked in like 3 years. And then very minimal. Actually, I played Slay the Spire on both the flight out and the flight in to Hawaii and back to Seattle, which is about 12 hours of playing Slay the Spire nonstop because I couldn't sleep. And let me tell you, when I flew out and experienced turbulence, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go out just like Kobe. Fuck. And I'm not even famous. Anyways, to my left.
Kobe. My bro. Just kidding. I actually don't know anything about basketball.
Too
but
soon.
Condolences to his family.
It's bigger than basketball.
Anyway, my name is Goon PNW. Catch me on Goon PNW on all my social media accounts.
Mostly Twitter.
Mostly Twitter. I don't really fuck around Facebook these days anymore.
And I am the Insta boy.
Yeah, which I hardly even touch that shit. I just spent some time doing bonus round over this weekend.
Hey.
It was great.
Should I say?
So we actually ended up breaking our record number of attendees, and on top of that, we profited for once. So that was awesome.
Retract that.
Retract that.
Retract that. PR,
Redacted.
get on that.
Redacted.
But it was really good.
We're coming up, is what you're saying.
We caught up. We had a really good time. A lot of people really came out, even people all the way from Olympia and Portland. And it was just really great seeing everybody. Everyone really likes the event. We've been getting overwhelmingly positive reception on Twitter from people.
Nice.
Just posting about us, talking about how they like the event, how it's one of their favorite events to go to in the region. And they've only been here twice. So that's awesome. I really appreciate all of that.
Thank you, Lauren and New Belgium.
Yes.
And Rudy Ranger.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you
And,
guys
and
Club
so
Trinity.
much.
Club
and
Trinity.
Craving Amazing.
And Trinity.
Mikey just holds things down when things are flying around all over the place. Nothing ever got out of hand, but if you
Yes.
ever need that extra person to just be solid,
Hit him, Mr. Craving Amazing. He's great. He ran the tournament for me while I got a chance to do some PR stuff, so I really appreciate him. Literally gave him a crash course on how to run the bracket in like 5 minutes, and he learned how to handle it like a pro. So thank you so much, Mikey. Aside from that, I ain't been up to shit. It's back to the grind, really. So
Yep. Fucking grind that salt.
who's the dude in front of me over there?
All the way over here, you got the save rings, ... And I'm doing okay. I've had a rocky last day and a half or so. But other than that, as far as like gaming and stuff goes, it's just good to see the growth. It's good to see some companies getting some comeuppance. It's just it's a weird time. Life is strange. Can I get London to take a look at my screen here?
London.
There's something on my show. We've got our boy Gross Def here on Steam.
Still hasn't turned on his PC.
Last online 417 days ago. I know this is my
Over a year.
I know this is my section to talk about what I've been doing, but let's talk about what Gross Def's been not doing. So join our Steam group, Salttier Podcast, here on Steam. I'll actually show it. It's right here. It's the one group that he's in. There's 33 members. Go ahead and feel free to join us and get on there and Steam shame him, where he won't see you because he's not on Steam.
Yeah, he won't notice. He won't even care.
You won't even know. So go ahead and say what you're going to say there in the comments here on our lovely Salttier page, which I'm actually about to share the podcast on here as well if you're on Steam.
I mean, we try to give away games pretty much at any point. Maybe tonight we'll just give away a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're in the stream here and you got a Steam account or don't have a Steam account, you just got like a decent.
Actually, how about this? The next let's say 3 people who join the Steam group get free games.
We could probably do something like that.
Let's
we
do
got,
that.
We got plenty.
Let's do it.
We got a few, and these aren't chintzy games, even though there are some in there if you're into chintzy games. We got a couple of those
Some
too.
chintzy games are great.
Yep.
You know how many hours I put in Slay the Spire? Almost 500.
But that's not a chintzy game. That game's kind of meaty though.
I love that game.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, other than that, just chilling. Haven't really been playing or doing too much. There was a redo last week. What's up?
Oh no, go ahead.
There was a redo last week. Well, on the last week's show, I talked about how 3 of my user-created empires were used in a grand tournament for Stellaris. Actually, there was a redo on that because there was a setting that was off, so he redid it. And this time, both of my empires lasted till the end of the game, and one of them actually finished second. So I don't know if that qualifies me for anything.
Ooh, first loser.
Yeah. But they lasted till toward the end of the game, and it was the mainstream, which is like this weird, goofy trash, total garbage alien species I made like just for the laughs. But they end up being one of the most overpowered things I've ever made in that game on accident. So I entered them in that, and they actually finished second in a round.
Was it a bunch of shaggies?
What does that even mean?
No.
Pretty dead mean.
Check this out. So I made this empire. They're basically like the mainstream. Like they're the ones that watch like everything on CBS. They're the ones that buy like all the whatever the hit artist is for that year that wins all the Grammys by default. They're like that. Like they're supposed to be like that. They're supposed to make friends with all the other aliens, move to their thing, spread out, and eventually they take over everything and they become the mainstream. And that's pretty much what they actually do in games. So it was interesting to see that actually work against other people's AI stuff that they had created as well.
You feel like a proud parent because your AI did so well.
I did. And they spread everywhere. It was awesome.
Just like the coronavirus.
Oh, too soon.
Jeez. Hey, just to touch on bonus round, London threw a link into the chat for tonight's stream, and we have a clip of, if we could get that. Not yet.
Damn it, London.
I know. It's connecting. It's on the stream chat. Sorry.
Yeah. There you go. Anyways, we're going to be plugging in a nice little link right now when London can just kind of dial it in real quick. Just, yep. And still flashing it. Let's see how we go.
Is this it right?
London's sending malware, so watch out for this link. Anyways, pretty much what I was doing before the start of the podcast was grinding out the last Destiny kind of limited time event called the Corridor of Time series with the Same 14. And let me tell you, that shit sucks. Anyways, London finally got her shit together. Here we go.
And this is some action on how hype this crew was, how many people came out.
Down at over at Club Trinity, this is the footage from bonus round.
Shout out to Trinity Nightclub for hosting us.
Oh shit! You can see the watermark that we don't have a legit Windows on here.
That's
no, that's not ours. Never mind. That's someone else's laptop.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyways, so there we go with the tournament footage. Looked hype. I don't know. I kind of just watched photos, so no movement, but looked pretty good. Lots of Tekken players. A lot of nice little Twitter shout outs going to say, yo, you should show up to next month, whatever that game may be. It's probably Tetris, so fuck the fighting games.
Puyo Puyo Tetris!
Anyway.
Yeah, what's up with some River City Ransom? We should be doing some speedruns of that.
Yeah. Fuck it. We'll just make our own, what's that charity that does speedruns? Games Done Quick.
Yeah.
We'll do our own one, but we don't have to worry
It's not
about...
a bad
We
idea.
should actually have some speedruns.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. New idea.
New
Fucking
potential
count
idea.
it.
You heard
Put
it
it in
here
the
first.
put it in the
Heard it
bank.
here first, folks.
Yep. But yeah, so that was bonus round. I think we're definitely a monthly event, except for December because everyone wants to be with their families, I guess.
And
But-
snow and
And
a bunch of stuff.
2020 apocalypse. Get ready for that. But anyways, I mean, do we want to go into your somber moment?
Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm not gonna dwell on it. But if I sound like I'm in like kind of a downer mood, it's because I am. Yesterday we lost an icon, not just in sports, not just in basketball, but the dude had a far-reaching effect on culture. Even if you know nothing of basketball, you've seen this guy. You've interacted with him in an ad or something. You've seen this guy. But Kobe Bryant passed away yesterday. To link this back to video games, I kind of went back and I wanted to reflect on all the games he's appeared in, all the covers he's appeared in. His style, his design, his personality. they kind of wanted to design things that were similar to him and similar to other younger players like him that were coming up, and it's kind of changed like how sports games operate, and sports games have been influential on other mainstream games, esports like we always talk about. As far as like the flair and the presentation and like a lot of the bigger events, they have a lot of similarities to like Madden tournaments and NBA Live tournaments, which they've been doing since the 90s. Then they've also had video game tournaments back then, but the two, in a lot of ways in their showmanship and their presentation on on bigger stages and stuff like that, even at our own bonus round, it's very sports-like, and he had some influence in that. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, point it out, and also things like this kind of remind you to, if you have beef with somebody, if you have a family member or friends you haven't spoken to in a long time, this is just kind of a reminder to stay in touch with them. When you do speak with them, let them know that you care about them and stuff like that. So I just wanted to point that out because I know a lot of people are going through some rough things, completely unrelated to this, but just know that there's ones that, you have loved ones around you, and when you get a chance to acknowledge them, you should acknowledge them. So on behalf of me, I love you guys. I love doing this podcast. Keith, thanks for letting us do this. Thanks for bringing me on, and love all of you watching it, all you guys commenting, all you guys engaging with us on Facebook or our podcast or whatever like that. I appreciate all of you. You make this possible. And I just wanted to say that.
I just want to say really quick that life isn't promised. So please live your life to the best that you can. You never know what's going to happen next. Not saying that something dramatic as you dying could happen, but, there's anything could happen. So spend time, enjoy yourself, enjoy the people around you.
Yeah, and us doing bonus round, watching that clip we just saw, that's like the competitive spirit at its best. And there's very few people I can think of that embody that as much as he did on and off the court. That dude won an Oscar 2 years after he retired. It's kind of incredible. So yeah, that dude brought his mentality of winning and excellence and being competitive to everything he did, and it's the same way with FGC and any kind of other competitive gaming too. So, it all ties in.
Yeah, I thought I was going to die on Sunday after watching that news report because on my flight back, we had some crazy-ass turbulence from Hawaii to Seattle.
That's not the news reports you probably wanted to see when you were on a plane, huh?
Yeah, that was fucking rough. But, when you're sitting there while the plane just goes up and down, you're like, sometimes you got to be ready to die.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Yep.
But counter to that little somber note,
Back onto the fun stuff.
If you fucking hate someone, you take that shit to the grave. Hold grudges forever.
So you can haunt them.
You damn right.
If you're
coming
lucky.
back.
So next up we got a couple of little newsy bits. We'll just get into some things that came up today. If Linda wants to share the screen here real quick.
Oh, all right. She ready?
Yep.
All right.
So we're seeing this all in real time here. Atari-themed gaming hotels are coming to 8 U.S. cities, including our very own Seattle.
Oh, really?
There was a plan for one. Basically, they want to revive Atari as a gaming-centric hotel chain. So if you're traveling and you're a gamer, it's like one of those hotels. If you've seen those, I saw these in a documentary or like on a travel log, but there's like these gamer hotels that are in different cities and they have like really good Wi-Fi.
I think we covered them before, right?
I think we did. I think we did, yeah.
Maybe on a podcast that shall not be named.
Yeah, previously known as,
AKA.
Yeah. But
That's it, blank. You don't get to know.
Basically, we're going to be seeing these pop up in several U.S. cities coming up here in the next few years. So keep an eye out for that. If you're traveling, we'll give you an update here on the channel. We don't really know too much about it. The article's kind of brief because as it was just a press release, there's no plans or announcements or dates or anything like that. But Seattle, there's eight cities. Let me see if I can find them here. But
Is it international or national?
We're looking at Austin, Chicago, Denver, Las Vegas, San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle.
National. Okay.
Yeah.
Seattle.
The first one will be this year in Phoenix, and then they'll do all the rest after that.
So end of this year they're gonna launch it?
We'll probably see here in Seattle them breaking ground and then building it probably like in the next 2 years.
No, I was talking about the Arizona one.
Oh, the Arizona one? That'll be this year it'll open.
No quarterly actual date they're gonna target.
There's none listed here in the article, but it'll be sometime this year.
Is Atari actually like branding the hotel with whoever's like doing the
or whoever
partnering?
owns the licensing for Atari? It's a really weird thing. Like Atari themselves are not a real company anymore, much in the way that LucasArts is not a real gaming company anymore. They're pretty much just a brand that licenses.
People just buy.
Yeah, people can license out the IPs for their games. So that's basically what Atari is at this point. So they're just kind of licensing out their name for that vaporware Atari console that was supposed to be out like a year ago, that we haven't seen. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
And we talked about it here on the show before. It was a while ago. And they're licensing out the IP for this as well. So.
All right. Well, we'll see. So I'm curious if they're gonna have like all video games or just Atari-related video games.
You know what I would like to see? So say they open all these. Say they open all these, and in 20 years the license expires or there's some dispute. What are they gonna do with these? Are these gonna be like some Cyberpunk 2077? Like these games, like these buildings would be old in that game.
Oh, yeah.
But would they, it'd be like some old rundown, like, what did this building used to be? Was this like a video game building? Like a game like that where you're like walking through something and fall out and you're like, what did this used to be, this building here? So there's going to be some stuff like that.
Well, like the curious thing is like we have a thing called a GameWorks, which back in like the 90s was like hosted or like branded with Sega. So like you would see, they would be renowned as Sega GameWorks. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden Sega just started hemorrhaging money and had to pull off their logo, and now it's just called GameWorks wherever you go now. At least in Seattle. I think in Las Vegas it's just GameWorks still too. Okay. But like you don't see like gaming companies still branding their own licensed arcade. Like with Sega GameWorks, you would have all really pretty much Sega related arcade games in there, and maybe some outsider stuff, but since the Sega brand dropped off GameWorks, it's pretty much anything goes in there now.
On an interesting side note, have you guys been seeing that Nintendo Land that's about to open at Universal Studios?
No.
That shit looks fucking amazing. We'll have London look that up here. Have you seen that, Goon?
No.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I know about a Mario Kart course that might be opening soon.
Oh really?
That's all I got.
But yeah, that's
Super Nintendo World.
That's the Atari hotel kind of post as London's tracking down that link. Russ, you've been trying to bash Nintendo for some reason on this one. So
well, that's because this court appeal got upheld. Where basically over here in Europe and everywhere, but it was Europe that actually took them to court over it. Basically, Nintendo has a really screwed up pre-order and customer service cancellation policy. Basically, if you pre-order a game, you cannot cancel your pre-order. If there's any games made and purchased in error, you cannot cancel those. So if you hand the Switch to a little kid, you don't have that shit set up, and the kid buys like $100 worth of Animal Crossing, blah blah blah, even though there's no Animal Crossing on the Switch yet, which is weird.
That is freaking weird.
That is weird. Basically, if your kid accidentally, like on your Fire tablet, buys $100 stuff, you call Amazon and they can look at it and they can look at your history and be like, yeah, this isn't normal. Sure, we'll take care of that for you right away. By the way, do you know your parental things? And you're like, yes. And if you don't, they'll walk you through it. But basically, Nintendo's like, tough titties. You're just out $100, buddy. Sorry. And if you pre-order something and then they change it and some bullshit controversy happens and you're like, oh, I'm not with that. Sorry. You're just kind of stuck with it.
That's stingy.
That's why you don't pre-order games, people.
Yes. I feel like we don't say that enough on this show. Especially in this day and age, in like digital things where you don't have to line up.
Games should stand on their own. There should be no pre-orders.
Do not pre-order anything, people. Don't do it.
I pre-order the mainline Final Fantasy.
Unless it's like a box set or it comes with like a collectible or something like that. Don't do it.
No, not even collectible. The only pre-order I'm going to throw money on is the Yakuza series that's coming out, I think, in March or April, and you get 2 extra games with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get it if people want like the little swag or whatever that's in there, even though some of it's kind of ridiculously overpriced. But I get it if you want that. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. It's your money. If you want it, you want it.
No, I'm going to be like when my friends go gamble, they're going to try to go to the ATM again and draw like $200 at the Las Vegas ATM.
I would never do that.
I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to take your wallet if you do it, and then run away with it. And that's not theft. That means I love you, and you're not going to gamble anymore.
I don't gamble.
That's how I treat pre-orders.
You said he was talking about you, Chris.
I was not talking about him. I pointed in this. I'm gesturing in this direction, but that's not. I'm pointing past him. See, like right there.
Speaking of spending money, did you hear that they're going to make a new Bloodborne starring Voldo?
I mean, I'd buy it. It's great.
I would play that.
No, I'm kidding.
Put it on PC.
That's out of my ass. I just know that.
I'll play it at 144 hertz if you put it on
I
PC.
love that character.
He's a freak.
Yeah, he's great.
And he loves his leather.
I do.
Moment of silence for everything Bloodborne does right.
Yeah, right.
Except for being on PC.
He won't let that
sounds
go.
like a personal problem.
No,
I mean, it sounds
30 FPS is not. That's not acceptable.
Here we go again.
There we go again.
30 FPS is not
Hold
acceptable.
my beer.
Not acceptable.
Let me just cry about 30 frames per second again.
Yeah, I can't.
It's not like he
There's
understands.
Bloodborne.
I
30 frames a
guarantee
second.
It sure is, barely.
Saberings can't even measure 144 hertz.
The human
on his
eye can't
eyes.
see past 24 frames a second anyway, so I don't even know what I'm saying.
Exactly. So I don't know why you complain about 30 frames.
Because I got a 144 hertz monitor, baby.
You don't even know what to do with
Yes,
the
I
extra
do.
100.
Yes, I do, baby.
That's
114.
doo-doo, baby.
That's
Doo-doo,
doo-doo, baby.
baby.
Doo-doo, baby.
I'm talking from straight up PC snob perspective, and when these new consoles come out, there will be a lot more 60 frames. But basically, 60 frames is the new 30 frames. I'm saying that right now.
Oh, okay. So
60 FPS is the new 30.
I don't think so. That's
Yep.
144.
144.
Oh my God! You don't even
144.
know what 144 is.
144.
No.
144.
No.
Yep.
As someone who does video work
144.
professionally, I guarantee
that's
you
video
can't
work.
do.
That's video work. I'm
It
talking
doesn't
video
matter.
games. I'm talking video games.
There's video already implied in it.
Nah, fam.
Nah, fam.
Nah.
All right, take the video out. What do you got with the game?
Playing
It's a
Counter
bored
Strike at
fucking game.
144 is just. Mwah.
You don't even know how to play shooters. Fucking sit down.
Yes, I do know how to play shooters, but I play good ones.
Oh, you play good ones.
Oh.
Okay, you show me the shooter. I'll fucking show you up. I don't
Okay.
even know what shooters you play anymore. And Borderlands is not a shooter.
Hey, what's the action? Where's the money on this?
It's only on.
Yo, if you want to gamble and fight, let's go.
That is a great segue into our next thing, talking about Borderlands 3. The next topic is PC gaming sales were down this year,
Whoa.
and for a good reason. And we've been talking about it all year.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Goddamn China.
Actually,
Too soon.
Actually, that derailed the League of Legends tournament over there, or something over
It's
there.
the league. It's the LPL,
Yes.
which is the Chinese league.
Yeah,
Yes.
what's happening right now, just so, relevant topic is the coronavirus and the expats.
5 million people are infected with the coronavirus in Wuhan.
We could talk about this too. Plague Inc. This game that you've been playing on your phone for
Oh,
years.
yeah, I
it's
saw
on
that.
Steam. That game had a huge spike in infection. No,
A spike in sales,
Spike in
going
sales.
upwards, actually,
Yeah.
not downwards.
to the point where the developer had to release something like, "Okay, thank you for buying our game. We're glad you enjoy it, but we're not the CDC. If you want to know about
This isn't a simulation that
if
you
you
could
want
take
to
to the
actually
bank.
know about how diseases work, please visit WebMD or something like this. We're
Visit
glad-
WebMD.
Yeah,
Go visit Goop.
Let me go to the internet doctor. I'm sure he knows everything. Oh, I got
Gwyneth-
stage 3 cancer right now.
No, Gwyneth Paltrow has a cream for that.
she does. She has a vag scented candle that'll cure that.
Yo, let's get London to link that. I know London probably already has that window open.
Yeah.
Keith, what's the
Oh,
matter?
did London send it through?
Gwyneth Paltrow should not talk anymore.
She didn't even know what Spider-Man movie she was in.
Hell
You
yeah.
see that interview?
Yeah.
They were like,
fuck
"Hey,
that up.
Gwen, remember when we were in Homecoming?" And she was like, "Wait, that wasn't Avengers." And they're all looking at her like, "You dumbass! Like, what the? Yes, no, that wasn't Avengers."
To
Peter
be
Parker
fair, I would
wasn't-
confuse it too.
Mm.
They're both the same thing to me.
What are you, casual?
No, I don't like comic books.
What are you, casual?
No.
You're casual.
That's not even casual. How am I casual if I don't even
casual.
like the damn thing?
You play Destiny 2. You don't read
I
comics.
do,
You are
because I
casual.
actually give a shit about what
You are
games I play.
casual AF.
Okay, you casual
Wow,
AF.
dude, somebody's gatekeeping over here.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Oh, 30
Hashtag
Oh, you
PC
don't play
Master Race.
144? Who gives a fuck?
Hashtag PC Mastery.
And save rings. London just linked you
Oh, what you
the site to get the cream to cure the coronavirus.
Oh, let's see what we got here.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's very own shop.goop.
No, we're not going to promote this.
No, we're not gonna click that.
No,
we're
that's
not.
fucking clickbait. Don't do
Yeah,
that. That's how you get the
no,
coronavirus right
here's,
there.
Here's Nintendo being tight with their stuff. Okay, here's the sales one if you want to go to that there. All
right, there we go. Yeah.
So basically what had happened was
What had happened?
exactly. What had happened was basically my little bitch fest I had all year with the Epic Game Store was that it's kind of I don't have a problem with competition. Competition is fantastic for all of us as consumers. I just didn't like the way that Epic was going about throwing their Fortnite money around, buying up games, and like muddying the water. That was the whole thing. They didn't really care if they just wanted to muddy it up and like kind of like distractify. So the going theory right now is games didn't sell. So perfect example, Borderlands 3 was going to be a pillar selling game in 2019.
That's what they were projecting?
Yes, and it sold very well still. But the vast majority of people who were going to play it on PC were going to play it on Steam.
And you better fucking believe it.
A lot of them held off because they know it's coming on Steam in April.
That's me right here.
That's me too.
Yeah.
There's two
Fuck
people
'em.
right here. 2 out of 4 people, potential gamers.
Actually, I know some people who
50%
work
of the world.
at
Yes.
Epic. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, there you
I
go.
don't hate you, my contacts at Epic.
Study finds 50% of gamers waited for the Steam version, Loud and Brown.
Wow. It's more better, that's why.
So that's what the experts are saying, and
89 frames a second.
No,
top speed.
144. So that's what the experts are saying, and quite frankly, I agree with them. There was a lot of muddying of the waters. There was a lot of people waiting for things. There was a lot of delays. There was a lot of flops. Anthem was supposed to sell like
fucking huge kick.
Anthem was supposed to sell like $10 billion worth of games right there, and they still
had to
money.
package it on launch with their Game Pass.
Fallout 76 was supposed to make a shit ton of money last year.
Yep. Took my money, and I never went back to it.
It still did make some money, and it still did make pretty good money, but not what it should have made. So things like that. The mudding of the waters as far as different storefronts, because you had Bethesda pushing theirs. We had Rockstar
because they were at 69 frames a second. That's why.
Yeah, 69 frames a second. Human eye can't see past 69 frames a second. So basically, that is what's going on with that, and I tend to agree with that. We'll see how this goes in 2020. Epic still says they're going to be locking down some exclusives, but they've also said that they're going to slow down on that in the future, and that was about a year ago. So we'll see. A big thing will be all the games that were exclusive last year, which will be coming out on Steam this year, as well as selling through on consoles again more this year. PS5 coming out, Xbox coming out, people buying it on that just to see it nice and pretty in 120 frames a second. We will take that in the console space. I'll take 120 frames a second.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
That's a fucking damn dirty line. You know it.
I will coming out of my Xbox, I will take 120 frames a second.
You don't even have a TV that supports that.
Yes, I do. And I have a 144 Hz monitor, which I'll probably play my games on instead of my TV. It's also HDR. And
man, he is gatekeeping like a motherfucker over here.
Do you guys hear me? This is like the bare minimum in 2020. You got to shoot for. You got to get that HDR TV because your PlayStation and your Xbox are going to have that.
Yeah, that's standard.
Yeah, so that's going to be the bare minimum moving forward. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the HDR. I'll give you that. That the color range is going to make a huge difference because you'll be able to see in the dark more.
Explain to these maniacs what the heck an HDR TV.
Okay.
In other words, explain to this asshole too, because I have no idea.
Okay.
You don't know letters.
Basically, HDR stands for high dynamic range. If you've ever gone to the movies and you've gone to Adobe, what are they called?
Atmos? No.
Is it that? No. Is it the Dolby? The AMC Dolby theaters. Those have HDR projectors. Basically, what HDR is, it's called high dynamic range, like I just said. That is the difference between the darkest dark and the brightest bright. Basically, if you have a screen that's really good at producing a black color, and it has a high nits count, and nits is just how bright something is. It's also a measurement for like candles and light bulbs and lighting for movies. It's nits. The brightest that you kind of want for these kind of monitors is about 1,000 nits and up for it to be true HDR, to have that true contrast ratio as far as like the colors go. But basically, that's all it is. It's the difference between an image can be the darkest and it can be the lightest on the same image. So, for example, if you're playing a game and you're holding a torch in your hand, that HDR light source, it's going to be really bright up close where you can see it, but the second it hits shadow where you're looking, it's going to be as dark as it can possibly be, much like in real life if you're holding a flashlight or a torch in a cave. It's going to be the brightest where you're standing and the darkest where it's the furthest away and the light doesn't hit. Combined with ray tracing, which I also fucks with, it's a fantastic effect, and people are going to have their minds blown seeing these next consoles that feature both of these technologies, because I'm messing with it now, and it's like in its baby walking steps, and it's going to start running when the consoles come out and more games start featuring it as a basic feature. And I'm really looking forward to that with these new consoles a lot. It's gonna blow people's minds, and it's also going to speed up game development too, because much like shooting a movie, a TV show, a third of game development is just lighting that bitch. So if they can just set up the light sources, turn it on, and it lights in real time using ray tracing, it's going to speed up game development and allow more time to put polish on it and add content to it.
And who's this guy, Ray?
And ray tracing is, right now, every lighting effect you see in a game, it's a hack. There's no real way for a computer to mimic how light works in real time in a game. There's some that come close, but it's all some kind of like trickery. For example, if there's a game that has a day and a night cycle, if there's a rock in a field, they have to repaint that rock 6 or 7 times depending on the amount of light that could ever be shining on that rock. Whether it's midday, midnight, 4 in the morning, 8 in the morning, they have to repaint that rock 5 or 6 times. So no matter where you're standing by that rock, it always looks appropriate. With ray tracing, they can paint that rock once, they can put the sun in the sky, and the light just takes care of itself. It's technology that lets the computer simulate how real light works, how real shadows work in real time without really hitting your performance. current cards and current technology, you do take a performance hit because it is very expensive as far as like the hardware that you need to run it. But it does greatly improve the lighting effects, the texture quality, and the overall quality of the game. If you don't believe me, just Google Minecraft ray tracing. It doesn't even look like the same fucking game. It doesn't even look like Minecraft anymore. There's still the blockiness,
Shit, this
but
one's
other than
cold.
that, it looks like you're like, what game is this? Completely changed the game like Minecraft. So imagine what we could do for something like, I don't know, Gears of War, Death Stranding, anything like that.
Doing space now like he's in a history lesson right now.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what
World
ray
War
tracing
II?
is, and that's what HDR is.
Vietnam War.
It's the future as far as like gaming, at least for this next generation or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of TV and display technology.
You mean like the Virtual Boy?
Yeah,
Yes.
100%, just
Yeah,
like that.
Just like that.
One
The
to one.
The Virtual Boy would be a great example of primitive HDR technology because it was either black or red. That was it. So it was like you had your brightest bright and your darkest dark. So yeah,
You calling me a darkest dark?
I am.
What are you,
loud and proud.
racist?
A little bit.
Anyways, so that was a
We're
lot
the same
of
color.
a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of crying and bitching. But we're at the halfway mark, and I think it's time to
worked out good.
remember who actually gives a shit about recording us. It's the Soundcasting Network.
Hey.
Hey.
You're listening to the Salttier podcast over on Facebook right now, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Apple Steve Jobs products,
Stitcher.
fucking
Christian Mingle,
SoundCloud,
Steam.
We're SoundCloud rappers because we're on SoundCloud, right?
NBA Classic.
Yeah.
Yo, run that beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip
Hey.
Kobe. Rip
Yeah.
Kobe talking about NBA.
Yep.
This is really irrelevant, but do you guys remember that when Sega had their own handheld? It was like a big ass
The Genesis.
The
rectangular
Game
brick?
Gear or the
Alright,
Yeah,
no,
Nomad?
Game
Game
Gear.
Gear.
Was it Game Gear?
Or the Nomad.
The
Which one was-
Nomad was
No, the Nomad was.
Well, do you
the
remember the
No.
movie? Do you remember the movie Rumble in the Bronx with Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
That game console that the Asian kid was playing.
the
That
wheelchaired
one.
Asian
Why is
kid.
it gotta be
Yeah,
Asian
Game Gear.
kid?
Because
Yeah,
he's an
you know what the
Asian
best-
kid.
He was
Yo.
an Asian kid in a wheelchair. He had to look pathetic,
Why you
and
gotta be
And
in
good,
Wilson?
you know what the best thing about it is?
Huh.
All of my hardcore gamer friends will watch that movie because I saw Rumble in the Bronx twice in theaters, and the first time we watched it, we're like,
Nice.
"There's no cartridge in that shit."
he's playing
There
air.
really wasn't no cartridges in
Yeah,
that
he
shit.
was just like pantomiming. He was playing a game. Also,
on.
I think Save Rings remembers this. Everybody was rocking their Game Boys, doing a good job playing good games. Everybody that bragged about having a Game Gear would have to have a backpack full of batteries because that thing ate batteries so fast.
It took a bunch of double A's too, didn't it? Like a fuck ton.
It took
Oh,
like
yeah, it's
8.
Both of their
Game
handhelds
Boy,
did.
Game Boy for reference.
Both
took
of their
4.
handheld did because they had the Nomad, and the Nomad was just a handheld Genesis. You could put
Yeah.
your Genesis cartridge in it.
Jesus.
So yeah, both of those. That's an example of a technology and a platform way like ahead of its time, where it almost wasn't practical. Same
Yeah,
thing-
because now that's basically the Switch.
yeah, same
way
thing.
too early.
Same thing with the CC4DD. Same thing with the fucking Nintendo PlayStation, which is what it was going to be originally. Same thing with the 3DO, stuff like that. Neo Geo.
Yo, what was the name of? Dang it, because everybody tried to get in the handheld game, and I know the Neo Geo Pocket was tight, but someone. Oh, no, I forgot.
I just
it.
googled Game Gear, and the first article that came up is here's why the Sega Game Gear was ahead of its time. Like
Right
same
here.
thing we just
It
said.
was.
Right there, head of its time.
It was.
Yeah, you got it.
Trailblazer.
It was.
You gonna click that link for
It
London?
was so dope. I really
Wow.
liked the way it looked.
Well, let's see.
Yes,
But
We
I
got
was
that.
also like
No, it's
5.
a YouTube video.
yeah,
we're
it's an
not. We're
actual
not.
video.
We're gonna fucking sponsor that.
Yeah.
Pass on
But
that.
I'm saying like the very first thing that came up was that. So yeah,
Yo,
it's true.
Battery eaters, man.
Because how long was the battery life on that?
That's what they call my asshole.
Hey,
Wasn't the battery life on that like what, 8 hours?
No way.
It
No,
was
it
like
was like
no way.
one.
It was like
ma-
4?
It was like 4.
No, it was not 4. It was
No.
like 2
It was like 4 tops.
compared to the Game Boy, which was like 6 to 8, based on the
Game Boy
contrast
was
level.
way ahead of its time too.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I watched a video on, I think, Modern Vintage Gamer about how they programmed the Game Boy's display because it doesn't act like a regular screen back then because there was no LCD screen. It was
Yeah.
like,
Hey, I mean, I played the shit out of my Game Boy Color, and that only ended up requiring only 2 batteries at
My
that
Game
time,
Boy
too.
yep,
Color.
fucking upgrade.
Fucking Pokemon Silver on that bitch was like my fucking jam.
Yo, and also think about all the connectivity ideas they had. They had, if you had a GameCube and you also had a DS, you were able to link up your DS to be a GameCube controller.
Unfortunately, though, oh my god, I was so underwhelmed with that because I remember I was living in Tacoma. I just moved up to Washington. I had roommates. We were all gamers and stuff. And I had a GameCube, and I bought that link cable. and I got Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Anybody remember that game?
Oh, yeah.
Piece of fucking steaming shit. So disappoint. One of the biggest game disappointments
Who
of
else
my life.
had? Who else had mobile?
It was because it was 14 frames a second.
Well, back in my day,
No, actually, it was 60.
do
GameCube
you
was 60.
remember the
back in my day, you mean when me and Russ were in our 30s?
God damn.
Do you remember when we or when the Game Boy Advance or Game Advance, but Game Boy Color had an additional accessory that you would put into the Game Boy itself, and it was a light to shine so you can play in the dark or when there's glare.
Yeah, I
You
remember.
remember on the original Game Boy, you plugged it into the little expansion slot on the side, and it had the little light?
Yep.
Remember the magnifying glass with the speakers and
The
shit on it?
magnifying glass. Oh, and how about the other thing when you can play on your? Was it the N64?
Are you talking
or
about
was
the
it-
Super Game Boy?
Yeah, the one where you could play it on your Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Yeah, and we
I
were
actually
playing
got one of
Game
those
Boy
cartridges.
games.
And it would colorize them, too.
It was dope.
That's wild.
That's back when Nintendo was pure and simple.
So, innovation for gaming and, several different gaming companies, they've come and gone. We all laughed. We all, cried when, good innovation came through and really fucking laughed when shitty innovation somehow made it through.
Yeah.
Um,
Atari Jaguar, anyone?
oh, man. Fucking goddamn. But, we're still always looking for the next innovation, except Russ only wants to deal with his PC anymore. Like,
Yeah.
guarantee he's not buying a console. Guaranteed he's not
Horizon
buying.
Zero Dawn's coming out on PC. I'm good.
Yeah, see, he don't give a fuck about it. I will
Death
buy
Stranding.
everything. It doesn't fucking matter.
Vampire the Masquerade?
Oh, yeah, Vampire Masquerade. That's another game I'm looking forward to.
Yes, that looks sick.
Trying to get my Vampire Goth on, baby. Suck my blood, daddy.
4K HDR horse testicles, Keith the Boogie.
Hey.
4K balls.
4K balls. And just to dive in and remind everybody, thank you, New Belgium, for sponsor. Voodoo Ranger, hashtag Live Rangerously.
Yeah, don't listen to.
Right after we talk about horse balls. Good one.
Yeah.
Horse balls, Voodoo Ranger.
Glug.
That quenches my thirst right here with some nice morale. Agua fresca cervezas.
Oh, what a lovely tea
Yo,
party.
and just let me get a sip of that.
Yeah, go. Yeah, that's you now. This one's colder.
Coronavirus.
Oh, you hear that? There's that.
Coronavirus.
Oh no! Don't put it by the sponsor. Come on now.
Coronavirus.
Let's not try to blow it up and associate it with an actual pandemic.
Okay.
Just put it next to horse testicles. We're good.
Horse testicles,
HDR horse testicles.
Voodoo Ranger.
All right, so
This next article will be kicking to Goon, or otherwise known as, everybody remember, it's EU Goon. Is his
EU
new
Goon,
gamer tag.
yeah.
Extended universe? I don't think
Extended
that's Star
universe.
Wars.
I would much rather have extended universe than what it actually means.
European
too.
Union.
Goon.
Wrong podcast though.
Ew.
Hey, European Union Goon.
Ew.
What's the next topic?
Ew. Ew. We're talking about Evo Japan that just happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
At the same time as a bonus round, so I didn't get a chance to watch much of it, but I've been watching highlights, and then I actually ended up watching the VODs of like the top 24 of Tekken,
Oh.
which kind of leans into what we're about to talk about today. Is Tekken 7 recently released a character named Leroy.
Leroy
When he first was announced, everyone was super hyped because he
black?
he was literally a New Yorker, and he was like this old ass black New Yorker guy that was like trying to get revenge and like make peace on the streets of his
I
hometown.
never met a white Leroy. What's up with that?
I know.
Are they out there?
White Leroy, raise your hand up. Post and like and
Hit up
comment.
in the chat.
Does anyone in the chat know a white Leroy?
Yo, where you at, White Leroy?
Paging white Leroy. Where you at?
Let's go.
But anyway, so people didn't realize how extremely busted he was as a character. And so as Evo drew towards its top 8, 6 of the 8 characters that people were playing were all Leroys. There's
So-
only 2 other characters that weren't Leroys.
Hey, so I'm going to interject here. And I told you I was going to interject here. And I'm going to show AV
This looks
why
fucking
I'm
crazy.
interjecting.
Get the fuck
So,
out of here with this.
you know how 6 out of 8 is terrible? You know what's even worse?
What?
Hold on. Let me go down. I'm over at Tekken. Oh, no, that's Street Fighter.
This looks
The
fucking...
out of the 2 people that don't main Leroy, have Leroy as a secondary.
Yep.
Get your
So
pocket
only-
Leroy on. Let's go.
The
Is he really that good?
The
Yeah.
only character in top 8, the only player was Mikio, who only played Julia. Book was a Leroy main.
Book was not a Leroy main. Book just moved to
Leroy, but he played Leroy for this tournament. Nomura played Leroy and Steve, and then we had Ulsan, who played Kazumi and Bob, but also played Leroy. And Jen played Leroy. Chikurin played Leroy. Masa and Zengo played Leroy. Everybody but Mikio, who almost won it,
Yep.
got second, but got beat.
By book.
Sorry, correction. Did not get beat. Mikio got Leroyed.
Yeah. So it's basically become so bad that the entire Tekken community has just been making a lot of memes about if you really just want to win Tekken right now, just play Leroy. It doesn't matter how good you are. You'll go from getting like 9th place at your local competition of 12 people to getting top to like 32 in a tournament of 500 people.
Yeah. So who is Book?
Book is a Thailand player. He's from Thailand. He's pretty good. He is probably
Is
one
he
of the.
top 32 Tekken good?
He's like top 24 Tekken good.
Okay, but is he better than
He's gotten-
me, low high?
He got top
and-
8 at Evo last year.
Okay, so he deserves to be there.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he even said like just play Leroy right now. Like if you guys want to win, just play Leroy. And tons of people in the Tekken community are losing their shit right now. And he actually just got like. As we speak, like patch notes just came out for Tekken 7, and Leroy got a couple of nerfs, but everyone's saying that it's not enough.
It's a week late.
Yeah, and people are saying it's not enough, so we'll see what happens. But I just wanted to point that out that this game, Tekken 7 right now, is currently in a state of being a little busted with Leroy.
Welcome to every patch with Street Fighter. Welcome to my world.
Street Fighter looks really good right now.
It does,
sorta.
but when they introduced Abigail, people like couldn't figure out how to beat him. There are certain characters that popped up where, when it launched, everybody was like, just play Boxer. It's like, why? It's like with V Trigger, you get if you hit confirm, which is like a crouching fierce punch, like it's a lot of frames to react to a hit confirm. You slam your V trigger and you go into your sequence and almost guarantee 50% life, that's like a Tekken thing because juggles happen, but that's not a Street Fighter thing. I was talking to Sleep about it. He's like, yo, like you really have to stay awake and like figure out setups because you can't like body someone with 2 combos. I'm like, no, you can't. That's a different game. And in Street Fighter, you're like, no, you're picking your battles. Maybe quarter life for a good combo, but a lot of it is whiff punishing. A lot of it is zoning and getting yourself set up to take that big chunk of damage.
Speaking of Sleep, by the way.
Sleep!
Shout outs to Sleep and all of the band crew, by the way.
And all the Leroy players.
We actually had quite a bit of diversity at our top 8 at bonus round.
Yeah, bonus on. Dude, we had characters that aren't in the top 25 of Evo Japan. Like, people were playing every hero.
Sleep was on Lucky Chloe, right? And he got 5th. Jumanji was on Yoshimitsu, and he got 5th.
Dude, we had 2 Yoshis in top 8.
Yeah. Well, then Just Frame James had a martial law, and he won the entire thing, and he also played law and Yoshimitsu.
And what about the secret Korean killer?
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yo,
he had
so-
like 6 characters.
So
Maniacs.
There's a guy named Bin Chang. He's a famous, or not famous, but he's a pretty good, well-known like player in Seattle Tekken, and he's a Korean. But if you guys know anything about the Tekken community, is that they love talking shit. So Bravo is another high-level Tekken player, and he calls Bin Chang the Raditz of Korea. So but he was really good. Like Bin Chang got knocked into losers a little bit early than people were expecting.
Yeah, but
he
then
didn't
he
just rail through like.
Yeah, and he sent home some sponsor cats.
Yeah, he sent home Jumanji, who's recently sponsored. So he had a sponsor player come to our thing. He sent that guy home at 5th and got all the way to losers finals, and then ended up getting 3rd and lost to Bravo. So Bin Chang was just on a roll. Like, I'm actually quite intimidated by how good like the entire Tekken scene is here. Like, I think.
Oh, it's super intimidating.
I think a lot of players, like if they go to majors, they will do really, really good.
So, Maniacs, if you've ever tried to dive into a sports group or a fantasy football team or the Street Fighter scene, Jesus, sometimes there could be a little bit of gatekeeping. It's a little tough, and it's kind of a clique. If you ever have more than 8 words with one of these Tekken cats, they will try to get you next on a setup. They'll ask who your main is. They'll start giving you tips, and they'll tell you when the next meetups are. Like, they're so inviting. They're so crazy. And then, of course, there's like, Goth Lord that reigns above all with his wonderful cloak, and he's like the one to go to.
At first, I was like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?" Yeah,
No, when I first met him, I see this dude walk up with like this industrial, like big leather, like duster. I was like,
Yo,
What's
we're in the
happening?
Matrix,
Dude,
bro.
he looked like an Asian Dracula, like
Yeah,
for
it's
real.
Awesome.
But,
And we
uh,
are talking about the one, the only, the Dark Lord.
Mr. Evan Shimono, otherwise known as Silence.
Yeah.
He's also been quite helpful to Bonus Round and us, extending his presence to the Tekken groups, letting them know about our event.
Yeah.
I think he was a really good push on having us break our records this
Oh,
weekend.
absolutely.
And he's just been a great help. So thank you very much to Evan.
And he even brought it up that he was surprised that this got to 32 because there were 3 other Tekken tournaments.
He said this month was stacked full of tournaments. He walked up to, or he messaged me on Messenger with a message that Keith and I was on. He was like, I don't know if we can get 30 people. I think we can get like 20, 25 because we've been stacked with tournaments this month. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks, but we'll make it work. And then we had 30. Yeah, band came out and brought literally half their fucking posse, and it ended up being 32. It could have been more, but we had to cut it off to make it run on time. I think we could have gone up to like 34, but it was wild. Like I was really happy with how it turned out.
If we waited for you, man?
Yeah, if we waited for Manny, if we waited for Eddie Boy, they actually would have showed up, and that would have been cooler to watch. But you know, we're a business. We have to make things run on time.
I know. As cool as it is that the Tekken scene comes out, Maniacs come out. There were also like just friends of the podcast that showed up. Sage Bell and I entered this past November. We were pretty much cannon fodder, but it was kind of fun learning alongside the Tekken scene. And I went 0-2. I went out.
Hey,
fast.
so Mikey,
He don't know how to handle that 3D.
he doesn't. Yo, you know, Mr. Mikey brought out 3 of his buddies to come play.
Yeah.
And he was like, and his friend was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a tournament. Like, this should be no deal for me." And he's like, "Have you been to a tournament before?" No.
Yo, he's ready.
I was like, and then Mikey, like for some preliminary questions, like, "Oh, like what kind of stick do you use?" He's like, "Oh, this one." And it's literally just a PS4 controller. I was like, that's not a stick.
It's got 2 stick.
And so his friends, both of them got bodied. They got fucked up. And,
Yeah.
and then they
Hey,
left.
one of his homies got rounds.
And then that guy was like, I really want to come back and play again.
That's good.
And I'm like, yeah, you should also go to locals and get better.
I
Like,
know. I was
but
playing casuals with
Somebody
the
told
DJ.
him to get good.
He said he wanted to get good. He wanted to come back without
Get
us
good.
asking him to come back. He got 0-2, but he's gonna come back.
I played the gross def casuals meetup. I was playing with the DJ, and I won like 4 sets with King, and he kept kind of like bobbing his head. He was like, "Damn, King's tough." So I switched to Paul, and then I won like 3 rounds.
Oh,
And then-
that guy that was helping set up.
yeah. And then finally, I just switched like random. I just picked like Josie, and then he started winning rounds. I started like kind of teaching him little things like, "Oh man, that's
He
too
should have.
risky."
He didn't stay the entire way through because he's like, my main's Lucky Chloe, and I didn't see him the rest of the way through because he probably would have had a fun time watching Sleep. Sleep
Oh,
was-
you would have loved it.
Yeah, Sleep was just so before the tournament started, Sleep actually walked up to me. For those who don't know, he's part of the band crew. Band is like a Seattle, I would say like a pseudo gang. They put their tag names on everything. But he walked up to me before the tournament started, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to know, my goal for this tournament tonight is to teabag somebody mid match." So I said bet because I didn't think he was actually going to do it. And in the match to get out of pools for winner's side, he teabags Jumanji like mid-set after he wins a set, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. The crowd went wild over that, and I thought that was actually fucking hilarious.
So good.
But
Freaking pop-off moments.
Yeah.
I don't know if you edited through all your photos, but
not yet. Literally, like, if you guys just want to go watch fighting games and see what it's all about, go to a Tekken meetup. It is like, if out of any fighting games I can ask you guys to go see, just go watch Tekken. Tekken's gonna be something you guys won't regret.
Tekken's fun to watch. I like watching.
It's super
Tekken.
fun to watch. I don't even play Tekken at
it's
all.
fun to watch.
I think it's super fun to watch. Like, I've had them on my events over and over again because I like the energy.
Yeah, it's good energy, good vibes. You know,
They're
it's all about
screaming.
vibing, right?
Yep.
That's what the youth say, vibing,
Vibe check.
vibe check.
Vibe check.
I got approached with that phrase like 2 months ago. I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
I still don't really know what vibe check really means.
I don't know.
Like, do you get hit? Like, I hear people get hit like vibe check, but what is that? Does
Oh,
anybody smarter than me know what
a
vibe check
gateway
is?
to do assault for free.
Yeah.
All right, but anyways, put in the chat or our comments what a vibe check is. If you can explain that to us, we'll give you a game.
or a vibe.
No vibes, no vibes.
Vibes
What
are
a-
expensive. I don't even have a vibe.
What about a massage wand?
I mean, you know, that's a back.
Is
That's
that,
a that's
is
a
that
late night
another
deal.
word for Hitachi?
a personal massage?
Personal massager. We'll give that away, but you know, it might be used.
Well, hack, y'all.
That's even better.
Yeah.
I believe we've
So
gotten to the
that
roof.
was a combination of Evo and bonus round. I still have yet to actually go to one. I probably should show up one of these days.
Well, the next one's gonna have the beer, so that's the one you get to go.
There you go. Hey.
This is gonna be a fresh game. Next year, month is gonna be Grand Blue.
Yes. We
Brand
have
new
confirmed
game.
Grand Blue it's actually coming out on the 6th, but the Japanese version is coming out on the 6th. The English version will come out later in the month. But we will be having bonus round for Grand Blue February 29th on Saturday.
Leap year. This only happens
Leap
what,
year.
what, 4 year times every 4 years is leap year?
Yes.
All right.
It's gonna be. You know what the cool thing about this is? I don't care how good you are. It's an access game, right?
Exceed.
XC.
Yeah, Exceed, yeah.
Yeah. I don't care how good you are at fighting games, and if you're familiar with the media. No one's gonna really have all the tech on this in 2 weeks.
No, not, within 2 weeks, no.
So we're gonna see some sloppy matches. If you ever watched, local tournaments or even the first Evo with Street Fighter 4, people are trash. People are not good. How about those first majors on Dragon Ball? Are they pretty rough to watch now?
Majors? What do you mean?
Like
The
in
first-
Dragon
the
Ball
first
Z,
year of DBZ.
like
Oh,
not the
yeah,
first year,
hell
like-
yeah.
Like a month and a half in when people are just dragging, dashing everything.
and then the characters that people considered good 6 months later is like these characters fucking suck. So like that's literally like the game changed and morphed that much, and then now like Dragon Ball nowadays is so fucking ridiculous with all the new shit that they found out.
Just down
and
two,
discovered. Down two. There's no launchers in Dragon Ball.
Wait, you think this is MVC?
MVC.
MVC.
That game is probably one of the best fighting games of this decade.
What, MVC or DBZ?
MVC.
of course. MVC 2.
Oh, that's weird.
MVC
You're fucking,
3.
you're fucking
Oh.
like, he's a DBZ fanboy till he die, and he just said MVC 3.
MVC 3.
Game of the decade. Game
Yo,
of,
Fighting game of the decade.
Magneto triangle jumps, baby.
nah, just go full tilt. Fucking game of the year, fucking 10 years straight.
Yo.
I don't even think it's been out for 10 years.
Actually, maybe.
Maybe? I don't know.
It wasn't
I'm about to
2010.
find out.
It wasn't because Street Fighter 4 was 2008.
Okay.
Marvel.
Okay, anyway, we're gonna be doing these exiting speeches, and I'm gonna start.
Don't look at me. Go the other
Yeah,
way.
I'm
Go
gonna go
go to
this way.
Gatekeeper McGee over there.
Yeah, hey, Gatekeeper McGee. close the
Mr.
statement.
Mr. 144 over in the corner.
It's 9 years old.
Oh, I was close.
MVC3 is 9 years old.
Yeah.
So
Happy
s-
9-year birthday, MVC.
Final thoughts. Yeah. Your competitors, your rivals, everybody you go against. Enjoy that competition. If somebody kicks your butt, learn from it. Get good, as we just said a second ago. As you guys always say within the FGC, like if somebody beats you, like ask them how they beat you. Like get good. I'm just saying, just appreciate that. Like tell that let that person know that hey, like I learned something from you washing me that one time, and that won't happen to me again. Just your loved ones around you, give them a hug. Anybody, like your coworkers, anyone you appreciate in your life, anyone that's ever done anything for you or not, anyone that's just been there, just made you laugh. Let that person know you appreciate them because life's short, and enjoy what you're doing in the meantime. If that includes playing video games, all the better because we do the same shit. So that's all I got. What's up, Goon?
Damn, you're trying to always be emotional over there.
I am, man. This shit's rough. I'm not even like a Kobe fan per se. I grew to be a fan of him as a person, and I grew to root for him toward the end of his career. But I was never really a Kobe fan. But this happened, and I guess I'm a Kobe fan.
Yeah, you are.
'Cause that shit fucking hurt.
As a person that's not really into traditional sports, it's less about Kobe as a person and more about the situation that occurred. Like I said, when this podcast began, is life isn't promised. Please enjoy your life to the fullest. If something in your life is currently making you unhappy, do what you can to change it. Whether that be like a job that you absolutely despise or, some troubles with your personal life, make the change. Life's too short to just be miserable for the rest of your fucking life. So do things that you don't think that you could achieve or believe in yourself to do, and you never know, something could happen. I'm in the middle of doing that right now with all of this going on with bonus round and everything. I can't thank the team enough for doing this, and I'm going to keep doing this until we possibly can't anymore. So I'm going to live my life to the fullest, and I expect all of you guys to do the same. So be good to one another, be good to yourself, and go out there and play some games or do whatever makes you happy. Mr. Shady.
As I was sitting on my turbulent plane debating if I'm actually going to die in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, I realized always hold your grudges. Never back down. If you fucking want to shit on someone, shit on them till your dying days. Because then you'll know you at least said your truths. You're speaking your fucking heart. Don't fucking let up in punches and do this fucking, like, forgiveness bullshit. That doesn't work.
We're all gonna group hug Shady after the podcast. Maybe we'll leave the camera on so you guys can see that.
No. That's a
the
private
boogie,
moment.
get in here.
That's a Snapchat Premium. Pay me $20, then you can watch me cry.
That's on the Patreon. We can watch you cry.
Yeah, I'll cry naked in the shower. It'll be great. Yeah, 18 up. You can laugh how small my dick is. It's great. But anyways,
That's the cam frog.
yeah. All I'm gonna say is play your video games. If you're playing anything less than 144 hertz, you're gonna get gatekeeped by Saberines.
If you're not 144 hertz, you're last.
Yeah, apparently, because he can see it with his eyes, and I 100% doubt he can.
I just pointed out that there's a 360 hertz monitor that just got shown at CES.
You don't even know how to read 360
So
in
I'm
your
just
eyes.
saying, yeah, some games they get like 1,000 FPS. I want to see. I want to see all the frames.
There is no
I
difference.
want to see all the frames.
Okay. Anyways, he won't be able to comprehend that with his old ass eyes.
You didn't watch
so-
that Linus Tech Tips video?
Yeah, but you can't even
Yes, you
understand
can.
that.
Yes, you can.
Anyways, with Kobe's tragic passing, stay truthful to how you're gonna live your life, because
True.
you want to die speaking the truth, then dying like a fucking coward.
True.
Don't fucking lie to yourself these days.
And
If you're angry, stay angry.
And Kobe did speak his truth. That's why people like hated him, including me. Like I didn't like how he was cocky. I got it. He could back it up, but I didn't like how cocky he was. But he knew. He knew.
He knew he fucking could dunk on people.
Yeah, he
And
knew.
all I'm saying is, dunk on your haters all day, every day, just like Kobe did.
Yep.
And that's my Kobe moment.
Hey,
Yep.
that
Rip.
was the Dark Prince of Delridge.
Yo,
And the Lord-
a.k.a. Dathan McCaitlin.
Dathan McCaitlin, the Lord of the Soft Boys.
You can find me on several different names. You'll never find me on social media, but you could probably find me as Vaughn Shady in most social medias, and then Dathan McCaitlin for the after hour sessions.
Hey,
To
no
my
pants
right,
needed.
No Pants Dance, Snapchat Premium, $20 up front. Let's go.
Yo, Maniacs, this has been episode 57 of You Put EUD.
I know I did.
Hey, we don't speak about that brand.
Hey, what podcast is that?
I don't know. What you're
I don't
talking
know.
about.
It doesn't exist no more.
It's
did.
called Elephants Under Distress.
I totally. Yeah.
That's a Wildlife Planet show.
I saw that halfway through. Yes.
It was pretty good. So, Salt Tier, this is the video game podcast where your argument is.
Getting dunked on by Kobe.
Yeah, getting dunked
Yep,
on. This is number
always.
57. This is at Loud and Brown. That is Twitter and Instagram. My advice to all of you maniacs are to maybe throw your own event. Do little things. Or at a party, pull out Smash GG and make a bracket.
Or I don't know.
Any game. Lethal League. Dive kick. Have fun. Make it competitive. Make the grand prize not having to take a shot at 151.
Unless it's on Steam.
that's
and then,
hilarious,
unless
though.
it's on Steam, then Gross Def won't play it.
Oh, I don't even know what Steam is. Is that what comes out when I'm making tea?
That's because. Yeah. Hey.
Hey. That said, hang out, be social. You can play games by yourself if you want, but I'm not telling you anything you're not already doing. What I think you're not doing is being in the flesh, shoulder to shoulder, where you could smell your other friend that you're playing video games with. We all stink. It'll be great.
That's fucking disgusting.
It's amazing, and I want to thank Keith the Boogie for letting us do this amazing podcast.
Hey, before we end,
I want to thank him for risking his eyes every podcast for as much as he rolls them back. Like he's putting his eyes at risk for you people.
He's about to disconnect his,
Because those shits
his
are gonna get
retinas.
Disconnect nothing. I love you guys.
Those shits are gonna get stuck one day, and it's because he loves you guys.
hey, before we end this podcast, though, for all those people that are watching the stream here, I'm gonna attempt to throw this in the trash can.
Oh,
This one's for you, bro.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it.
Coming up.
Kobe.
Damn.
You know what
He
though?
wasn't with me today.
Even Kobe missed sometimes.
Yeah, that's okay.
It was a
But
fitting tribute because Shaq couldn't make a free throw either.
And I'm Shaq. I'm Asian Shaq, but shorter.
and Kobe missed way more than he made, but you only remember the ones he made, so it's all good.
all right. We'll see you all at the next bonus round. Please remember to follow, like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends about this podcast. Let us know. Make sure to join the Steam group.
Salt
Get those
tier.
free
Game group.
games.
Fucking the first three people will look at the timestamps. You'll get a free game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be. Hopefully you're not on a Mac.
I want to thank. Oh, look how easy this is, Keith the Boogie. I want to thank. Boom. Voodoo Ranger. I want to thank. Trinity Nightclub. I want to thank. crazy amazing.
Wow.
I want to thank Soundcasting Network. I want to thank this beautiful banner. And, this is one of the most fun things I do every week. Much love to all of you. Also, come at me at Street Fighter 5. I'll body you forever. And actually, Tekken. I can almost beat everybody here in Tekken pretty bad.
You can whip me pretty bad.
Yeah. We will live stream. I'll probably just spark up the Facebook group if I'm ever just playing casuals with AV.
And
He doesn't even know how to do that. First off, he doesn't know how to fucking do that.
And speaking of spark up, like that's why you beat me in Tekken because it's just fucking explosion fest on there. Like, are we fighting or are we having fucking Chinese New Year? What's going on?
What does that even fucking mean?
Because Noctis is in it.
Explosion fest.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Alrighty, Maniacs. This has been a production of the Soundcasting Network. Thank you kindly. Smoke trees.
Every day.
No, drink
day.
IPA Voodoo Ranger
day.
New
And
Belgium.
Rip Kobe.
Hashtag live dangerously.
Live dangerously.
Live dangerously.
Crikey.
Oh, I didn't think London.